What's up, everybody? It is I, your friend, Jay, with another Phrasing with Jay. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about before we get into tonight's show, or today's show, depending on whenever you're listening to this. There are things that I forget to plug all the time, so I made a checklist, and what I'd like to do right now is to go through that checklist with you. Bloody, bloody, woo, woo, woo. Hope everybody's doing good. Please go check out the YouTube channel at GameJ. You can also go check out my Twitch stream, where I will be doing gaming and some other things like reactions and all that kind of stuff. I got a Twitch. I will put links in the description below. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. Go follow my Instagram at GameJassus and my Twitter and Blue Sky at GameJ. Now, before we get into anything related to gaming news or any of the other stuff that I have to talk about video game movies or any of the other segments that I have that we previously talked about on prior episodes. I forget. Oh my God, did I just forget what the word prior meant? Yes, I did. I clearly did. What was I talking about? Yeah. I have a little bit of an announcement to make. I have finally secured a PC. And thanks to everybody who has donated and supported me throughout this time, I'm happy to announce that I believe I will be back in full operation on Friday. And that means that I will be resuming Tindalos, the video editing series, or the video essay series that I currently do. And that means, yes, the Cobra Kai video part 2 will be finished. I will inevitably watch Cobra Kai season 6 part 3 and dive into that with another video essay. And oh my God, what the shit that happens in Cobra Kai season 6 part 3 initially. Oh my God, you know what? I'm gonna save my thoughts. Suffice it to say, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm happy that the Karate Kid. I'm happy that Cobra Kai actually has finally ended. And I'm not necessarily happy that it ended, but what I'm happy to see is that we've really come full circle. And now that we started at the beginning of Cobra Kai in season 1 with Johnny and all that, and then the stuff with Robbie, and I'm getting too far into it, I can already tell. All I'm saying is that I'm happy that it's start to finish. So now, anybody that wants to know a little bit more about what I'm talking about, who might not be fans of Cobra Kai, I highly encourage you to check it all out. And the reason why is because now that the show's done, you can binge it from season 1 all the way to season 6. Am I asking you to watch a show about dudes in their 50s or 60s, depending on who you're looking at, commit themselves to karate? Yes, I am. Because at the end of the day, it's a good show, it's a drama, and I think for non-martial artists, if you want to get a superficial glance, and sometimes it goes a little deeper, phrasing, into, at least on my angle, from my perspective, on what martial artists go through and what we feel about certain things, I think it's a good show to watch. Cobra Kai is a show that speaks to me as a martial artist and as a person, but mostly a martial artist. And I think it's a very important show that all martial artists go seek out and watch, because for me, there were a lot of emotional moments where it wasn't even necessarily the characters. It was partially that, but it was also about how much it mirrored my own life in martial arts, in my own life of dojo wars and all this other stuff that I got up to in my teen years and as I got older. So at the end of the day, it's a good show. But like I said in the beginning, go check out the YouTube channel, the Instagram, the Twitch, the Twitter, the Blue Sky. And I really appreciate it. So thank you. So now, since I got that introduction that took far too long, we're going to get into some gaming news, because oh boy, does the gaming industry never fail to entertain and sometimes disappoint me, and then other times it makes me kind of happy. But today is, I don't know, probably a little disappointment, but oh my goodness. Nintendo Gold Points reward scheme to end in March. Now, this is interesting for Nintendo fans and maybe some Nintendo haters. I can't really tell which one you are. I like Nintendo. I've always liked Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. So Nintendo is always going to have a little bit of sentimental meaning to me, and it's always going to be significant as this is the OG. And this pertains to the Gold Points reward scheme. Now that, Nintendo has announced, is going to be ending in March, but you're still going to be able to spend those points that you've kind of accumulated after the closing date. This came from the Nintendo website in an official announcement. They said after March 25th, think about it, March 25th, think about it, of course you're thinking about it, you're listening to it. You're no longer able to earn gold points for the Switch purchases after March 25th. However, since gold points expire 12 months after purchasing, any of them that you have left over are still going to be valid for an entire year after you have gotten them. So what that means is you won't be able to earn any more gold points through buying games on Switch, but it also means you won't get them, I can't talk today, through Nintendo's website or through redeemed download codes anymore. And that's okay because, these things come to an end. If you pre-order anything from the Nintendo eShop prior to March 24th, you will still earn gold points for that pre-order, even if that payment is processed after March 25th. And that is relevant to state because it's important to note. Because if you say the cutoff date is at March 25th and you order something on the 24th and then your money doesn't process and the payment doesn't process till the day later, you're going to think, well, what happened to my gold points? Where are my gold points? You're still going to get them. Don't worry. Now, there is a little caveat to that. If you cancel that pre-order, then you won't get the gold points. Even if you just re-up the pre-order at some later timeline. And that's okay because that's just what it is. So fear not. You will still get your gold points up until March 24th, even if the payment is processed on the 25th. Now, Nintendo has not given any particular reason for their decision to end the gold point scheme, and that's just what it is. We don't have any other information on it. So really, this is me just telling everybody about it and what's going on. So it's just a little bit of news. And if you don't know what gold points are, they're a reward scheme or type of tree, basically, where you earn points for certain Switch games or other software that you're going to purchase. And then you can use those points to get discounts on future store purchases. And look, at the end of the day, these things come, these things go. The Switch 2 is coming out soon or whenever it is. I don't exactly remember. It kind of just flew out of my mind. So that could be a reason why they're shutting down the gold point scheme. I imagine that's what it would be, but I don't know. What I do know is that you got until March 25th to spend those gold points, everybody. So spend them. Go get some discounts. Figure it out. You'll be fine. Marvel Rivals. I have never played it. I'm not a fan of hero shooters. I played Overwatch. I played Overwatch 2. I played Paladins. Holy crap, maybe I am a fan of them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not interested in the hero shooter type gameplay style, but that's okay. This isn't about my personal interest in it. This is about what's going on down at Rival Studios. Marvel Rivals Studio closing and basically laying everyone off. Now, originally, there wasn't a lot of information on why they decided to lay everybody off, but NetEase has recently made a statement about the United States-based Seattle studio that pretty much shit-canned everyone. And I quote, "We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals' development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully, with recognition for their individual contributions. We want to reassure our fan base that the core development team for Marvel Rivals, which continues to be led by lead producer Wai-Kong Wu and game creative developer Quan-Yun Chen in Guangzhou, China." I think I said that right. Probably wrong. I'm not Chinese. I'm Korean. remains fully committed to delivering an exceptional experience. We are investing more, not less, into the evolution and growth of this game. We are excited to deliver new superhero characters, maps, features, and content to ensure an engaging live service experience for our worldwide player base. So, simply put, they laid off the design people and fired them, shut down that studio so they could focus on making sure the people that are actually developing the game have more money and probably more assets and resources, more resources to develop the game and continue to make it. And look, I hate reading about people losing their jobs. That sucks. But if there's anything that we know about the gaming industry is that how many times has this happened? How many times has a gaming studio been closed? We see layoffs all the time. I can't even think back to a time where I was covering gaming news on a more regular basis than I am now, where there wasn't always a layoff. There wasn't always a studio getting closed. There wasn't always employees getting laid off. You know, dude, it happens a lot in this industry. You know, like, all right, they'll hire people for a game. They'll hire a team. They'll hire art designers. They'll hire concept people. They'll hire testers. They'll hire all these different types of people from different walks of life within the video game industry. Game comes out, snap of the fingers, they're all let go. It happens. It's a shitty part of this industry that I don't like, and I hate about hearing people losing their jobs. But you know what? It's what happens. It's what happens. And at the end of the day, I really hope that these people find new jobs from the Seattle-based studio that was responsible for developing Marvel Rivals and helping assist with the game and everything. And I believe that they will find jobs because clearly they assisted in creating a game that has swarmed the world en masse. People clearly love this game. So that was the first little piece of news that I wanted to talk about it. And the reason I bring up Marvel Rivals right now is because there's been a little interesting thing that's happened. Just a little interesting, nothing too mind-blowing, but Marvel Rivals player count has hit 40 million after that Seattle studio got shut down. NetEase has revealed that Marvel Rivals has hit another major player count milestone. And then this was only a couple of days because you have to remember the post from TechRaptor, shout out to TechRaptor, love you. The post by TechRaptor was released on the 18th of February. And then on the 20th of February, Marvel Rivals player count was reported to hit 40 million after that Seattle studio got shut down. So it was only a few days, literally only a couple of days after that company got closed down. The Marvel Rivals Hero Shooter just has a fucking upswell of players and everybody's playing it. I mean, Jesus Christ, 40 million people. You have to remember, in early December, it was 10 million players within the first 3 days of that game releasing. Then 2 weeks later, 20 million. Now, remember, this isn't factoring in active everyday players. This is factoring in all the players, all the registered users, everybody who signed up to play Marvel Rivals. So no matter any way you slice it, it's an amazing accomplishment. It really is. Because if you look at the Steam numbers on Marvel Rivals per SteamDB, it has gotten the attention of over 320,000 players. At the time, it was February 20th. So over the last 24 hours on February 20th, it got over 320,000 gamers. And then 130,000 active players at the time of that article being published, which was on the 20th of February. That's insane. That's absolutely mind-blowing. And I'm really happy for that because, look, Marvel's a big property. Everybody loves Marvel. And look, if you say you don't, you're either not a comic fan or you're not a Marvel fan at all. And that's fine. That's fair. But a majority of us like something about Marvel. Look, I don't give a shit about Marvel. I don't care. I have nothing against people who do, but have I watched most of the Marvel movies? Yep, absolutely have. I've watched a majority of them. Why? Well, because I was cool with like one of my homegirls who was like a real Marvel nerd, and she always wanted to talk to me about it. And she went, "Jay, you need to watch the Marvel movies." And I went, Good. I don't want to watch that Marvel movie shit, man. There's so many movies. I don't know where to start. And she goes, don't worry. And then she sent me a photograph, not of her titties, not that day at least, of a list of Marvel movies. And then the order of the phases I had to watch them in. And I called her and I went, are you serious? There's 4 phases. And I went, do you know how many movies I have to watch? She goes, yup. And I go, you really expect me to watch all these? She goes, yup. And I went, okay. And I'll be honest, Marvel movies ain't bad. Are they my favorite movies in the world? Absolutely not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. No. But there are a few that I like. I like the Venom series. I love Venom. I don't know why. I just do. There's something about that symbiote, like, Eddie, I think the time is over for us. I like Venom. I think it's great. I think Tom Hardy did a great job in portraying Eddie Brock. I love the buddy comedy aspect. And if there's any other movie that I will go into greater detail and why I like it so much, it's Shang-Chi. And I've talked about that on my streams before. Go follow my stream on Twitch, Game J, right? Go do that. Thank you very much for that follow that you're going to give me. I love you too. But it was Shang-Chi. And Shang-Chi spoke to me for a variety of reasons. But we're not talking about Shang-Chi right now. We're talking about Marvel Rivals hitting 40 million players. And that's amazing. That's a great milestone. That's fucking phenomenal. All that means is that Marvel Rivals is going to be around for gamers to play for years to come. It's a live service game. It's a hero shooter. And yes, I have my issues with live service games, but they're already here and they're not going away. So if I don't play it, it doesn't affect me. I don't play Marvel Rivals. I'm probably never going to play it. I'm not the biggest fan of hero shooters. But what I will say is that for gamers who like Marvel, who like hero shooters, Marvel Rivals might just be for you. Hey kids, do you like Fortnite? Hey adults, do you know what Fortnite is? Probably not, or probably so. You might play it with your kids. I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I'm talking about Fortnite. Why, Jay, are you talking about Fortnite? God knows why I'm talking about it, but I got a reason to talk about it today. All right? So, here's what's going on. Epic has talked about the update for Chapter 6 Season 2. And what they are doing is bringing, in this update, heist-themed maps and a Mortal Kombat crossover, which has got to be one of the strangest things that I had ever seen. I mean, the only stranger thing that I saw was Payday being introduced into PUBG. And I'll talk about Payday 3 in a minute. Oh, my God, is there relevant shit to talk about Payday 3? But this isn't about Payday 3. It's about Fortnite. Now, we have a couple new locations. We have a new crime-themed location like the Hostel Hotel, the Wise Guys Bookstore, and the Laundromat. I like that because that's kind of funny. The Laundromat. That's fucking amazing. And they have been added to the map as well as, and I quote, a high-end hangout luxury spa. And the Outlaw Oasis, and another one called the Shiny Shafts mining operation. Ooh, do Fortnite gamers love a shiny shaft? Who doesn't love a shiny shaft? Everybody loves a shiny shaft. Let's all play with the shiny shaft and operate on it. Phrasing. Now, there's also a few things in this update. You're going to be able to fight the Lupine crime boss, Fletcher Kane. And if you defeat Fletcher Kane, you will get rewarded with a mythic pistol and a medallion that will increase your sprint speed. And unfortunately, like all other medallions, it will reveal your location to other players. So, hey, without risk, there is no reward. On top of it, the hip-hop duo known as the Tasty Boys are going to be... The Tasty Boys. What the fuck is this world coming to? The Tasty Boys are going to make their debut in this season, and their debut song, Run Amok, is available as a jam track in the new Battle Pass. Now, as a small reminder, just for everybody who doesn't know or people who do know, XP earned in any of the Fortnite gameplay modes, now it contributes to the battle passes across all of the modes. So you don't need to simply play the Battle Royale mode to earn enough XP to play that track in the Fortnite Festival. It also included in the new season's Battle Pass are a number of skins, many of them entirely original. You'll be able to get things like Big Dill, Fletcher Kane, Cassidy Quinn, and other skins as well. And there's also one interesting part. because I saw this on a YouTube advertisement and I kind of had to check it out. I saw Sub-Zero just running through Fortnite one day and I was going, what the fuck is Sub-Zero doing in Fortnite? What the shit? He's the ultimate character. Well, it turns out he's in Fortnite now, and you'll also be able to get him as the first Mortal Kombat crossover skin. And let's see. Apparently, now, don't take this as fact, but this is an alleged report. So allegedly that you're also going to eventually get a Revenant Scorpion skin that's going to be available later in the season. So in addition to everything I just talked about, Chapter 6, Season 2 of Fortnite is also going to include Cowboy Bebop-themed quests. There's going to be new gameplay systems across new Fortnite maps, and there's going to be more. And like I said before, which I probably didn't say that, but I'll say it anyway, Fortnite is a free-to-play game. It's been a free-to-play game for as long as I can remember, and literally, that's pretty much it. And the only thing I have to say about this, really, is it's a weird crossover with the Mortal Kombat thing, but like I said a few seconds ago, I've seen weirder with Payday 3 and PUBG, and crossovers are simply crossovers. They're just trying to bring more eyeballs and more attention onto the product, and that is simply what it is. Fortnite is a game for kids and streamers, and maybe some adults. I don't fucking know. I don't play Fortnite. But what I do know is that Fortnite players are going to have a lot of fun with this. I firmly believe that, because if you're introducing new gameplay systems, new maps, new skins, new characters, the XP, that's news to me, actually, that the XP that you get in any Fortnite gameplay modes now contributes to your battle pass. You know my feelings about battle passes. I don't have to get into that. I disagree with them, but whatever, they're here to stay. I can't change it. It's good. It's a good thing that you don't need, that gamers don't need to stick to the Battle Royale mode exclusively to earn enough XP to play the song Run Amok in the Fortnite Festival. So that's great. And eventually, let's be real, eventually someone's going to put the track on YouTube, and then gamers are just going to play it on YouTube while they play Fortnite. So I don't really know how effective that's going to be. But if you're a Fortnite fan, looks like Season 6... Chapter 6. God, I'm fucking silly today. It looks like Chapter 6 Season 2 is going to have a lot of significance to you. And for the people who do enjoy Fortnite, let me know how you like it. I'd love to hear from you. If you played It Takes Two and A Way Out, then you're a fan of Hazelight, led by Joseph Fares. And I've played It Takes Two. I played A Way Out. I think they're both good games. I think they have their positives, and I think they've had their negatives. But one of the things that I really like to highlight about both those games, It Takes Two and A Way Out, is the fact that they are cooperative games, and they are true cooperative games. They're amazing. I really do like them. And the reason I talk about these two games is because Split Fiction is going to include a friend pass that allows you and a friend to play together on any platform, so it's cross-platform as long as one person owns the full game. That's amazing. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay? There's a million reasons we can hate EA, Electronic Arts. This is not one of them. This is one of those things that, on a rare moment, I guess a blood moon must be showing right now. Maybe hell hath frozen over, and it's chilly down below. God, I feel like little Nicky when he got spat into earth before he got hit by a metal fucking bus. Look, man, the fact that Split Fiction, it has a friend pass and it allows people to play together, and even locally, not just online. You too can plug in a controller and play with somebody sitting on your couch. It encourages the living room. You know that dying thing that used to exist? Now everybody's kind of just on their cell phones and on online play. Yeah, it allows you to actually plug in and play like we used to back in the old days, locally, as well as having a friend pass where people can play across the internet or whatever. And that's great. That's awesome. I really like that. There's nothing bad I can actually say about this. And if you don't know what Split Fiction is, it is two writers, Mio and Zoe, and these two are trapped in their own stories, and I quote, after being hooked up to a machine designed to steal their creative ideas. And you're going to jump between sci-fi and fantasy-based worlds, and you're going to have co-op puzzles. And then as you progress through the game, you learn more about the characters. Look, this is a game made by Hazelight and Joseph Fares. This company and Mr. Fares has earned my approval like it matters, but it's earned my approval and my stamp just because of It Takes Two being a fantastic game. And A Way Out was a great game too. I played that game twice. I played it twice to completion all the way through with my ex-girlfriend. And that was great. Obviously, she was my girlfriend at the time, but I remember when we played it together and we loved it. We absolutely loved it. We thought it was a stellar game. And sure, are there elements of the games that could be better? Of course there can be. But it was the fact that I was able to plug in a controller and I was able to have somebody next to me and we got to play a game together. And together we got to cooperatively solve these problems and continue the story and just play the game and see it through. Together was a great thing. And this is great for friends. This is great for family members. This is great for people who are couples. It's just a great thing. This is part of gaming that gets lost in translation sometimes. It's just like when Halo took away the split screen and why people were so pissed off about it. Because cooperative gaming is something different and unique to video games. It's a tried and true thing, obviously, but there is value in co-op adventure games. And the fact that Split Fiction is going to be doing that, I can't even fault EA for it. I really can't. I mean, at this point, I literally want to go get Split Fiction and play with somebody on phrasing and play Split Fiction with somebody on my Twitch stream. I really want to do that because that gives me a perfect excuse to play a game with a follower, with a subscriber. I just think there's no negatives here. There really isn't. It's fantastic. So for anybody who hasn't checked out Split Fiction, I've looked at the trailer. It looks interesting. I think it's compelling enough to reach out and play. So go try it out. It's cross-platform. Only one person needs to own it, so you're saving money. And hey, man, worst comes to worst, you had a fun night with a friend. What could be better? How come this always happens? How come I'm always seeing Christopher Barrett's fucking bullshit in the news? All right, normally I wouldn't cover something like this, but this is a lawsuit, and it's a very intriguing one, and I might have a hot take on it. Hot take. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I have a hot take on it or not. I might. I really don't know. But at the end of the day, excuse me, Sony has responded at the Christopher Barrett Bungie lawsuit with evidence of a pattern of misconduct. Ooh, that sounds salacious and kind of sexy. What is a pattern of misconduct? Well, it's something that somebody continually does that is not good. See, hence misconduct. It's stuff you're not supposed to be doing. We all know that. Nobody here is stupid. You're all enlightened people. You know what I'm getting at. Just jokes, everybody. So, what happened is that originally Barrett filed suit against Sony in December, alleging that the company, which is Bungie's parent company, engaged in a sham investigation in order to support its termination of his contract. And then from GameFile, Stephen Totilo, Sony has now filed the response, and it is a gigantic 128-page document containing a shitload of evidence that reveals Barrett's quote-unquote pattern of misconduct with regard to his communication with female employees. And this is where we get a little dicey. This is probably going to get me in trouble, and I don't give a flying fuck about it because, look, man, I'm going to have an opinion about something, even if you don't agree with it. Look, I still got to voice it, all right? Okay. Now, this really comes down to a few things. Some of the some of the evidence that they talk about with Barrett's attitude towards female employees is that Barrett was allegedly telling a female employee that she was hot and asking her what she thought her best and worst physical features were, as well as telling another employee that he would hit on her if she wasn't being treated well by her boyfriend. Okay, hold it right there. Hold it right there. Telling a chick she's hot is not misconduct. It's not. It's just not. I tell chicks they're hot all the time. Here's where it becomes misconduct, most likely, is that you're telling somebody they're hot in your fucking place of work, dude. Dude, if you're in your personal life, if you're at a bar, if you meet somebody waiting in line at a store, a Walmart or some shit like that, then it's just kind of ineffectual. Then you're just hitting on a chick. There's nothing illegal about hitting on a chick. Dude, don't hit on chicks at work. Don't do that. And if you do hit on a chick at work, there's kind of better ways to tell a chick that you think she's attractive, aside from just saying, hey, babe, you know, you're pretty hot, you feel me? Like, look, I wasn't there, so I can't speak on it. But what I can say is that if you're going to hit on a girl, do it on your off time. Don't do it when you're at work, because this sort of shit can happen. It's a dicey territory that you don't exactly know how that person's going to respond, because they might be okay with it when you're saying it to their face, but they might not actually feel that way, and it could lead you into some other problems. And you never know. You never know. And one part that I will say that does feel a little weird. Now, I don't think it's wise for somebody in a higher up position to be asking one of your female coworkers, a subordinate basically, what she thought her best and worst physical features were. I think it's a lot easier to ask that chick for her number and just text her or call her and then go into that line of personal conversation. If you're in a professional work setting, no matter what professional work setting you're in, sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking, shit happens. I got a WD-40 this motherfucker. Look, if you're in a professional work setting, the last thing you want to do is hit on your coworkers, whether it's a male hitting on a female or a female hitting on a male, because hey, things got to go both ways. All right, we get bisexual in this motherfucker. What? I'm not bisexual, but the terminology I used was, simply put, look, you don't do that. You can't do that. You're at work. That's the last thing you want to do, because of situations like this, it can get you fired. It can cause a litany of problems that you just do not want to deal with. It's a lot easier if you go, hey, can I get your number? Why? Well, because I want to talk to you. I got a boyfriend. Okay. That should have been the end of the conversation. And I know that hindsight is 20/20, and we all know better when we're on the outside looking in at a situation. But look, man, a little bit of sense and a little bit of sensible thinking should come into play with these things. And look, I don't know Barrett. I don't know what type of guy he is. I have no idea. It's none of my business. But when something like this is out on a public forum, I have every right to publicly talk about it. I don't even think he's necessarily wrong for telling some female employee that she's hot. I think that he's wrong for saying that to her in the place that he did it. Don't do it at work. That's really what I'm getting at. Also, Barrett is alleged to have asked that same employee the steps he would have to take to date her, asking what's the strategy guide. And he said he didn't want her boyfriend to get the right idea about the messages he was sending her and all those types of things. And look, if these allegations are proven true, then yes, I imagine that they had every right to fire Barrett, because that is, if you ask anybody from an HR department, a human resources department, that is a very fireable offense. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in food service, if you work at a Starbucks, if you work in an office, or if you work at a game studio. You're still not allowed to do that. And it goes both ways. Females aren't allowed to do that to males. Males aren't allowed to do that to females. So at the end of it, it's kind of bad. Not just kind of bad, it is bad. But it gets worse. Sony has continued on by saying that Barrett has predatory behavior and that it caused his victims to seek guidance from other employees on to manage his constant boundary pushing. And then wisely, the people who allegedly were victims of this had talked to HR and said that they were afraid for their jobs during the encounters and conversations with Barrett. But Sony has went on to say that these employees were placed in a vulnerable position in which they felt compelled to engage with Barrett in order to maintain good standing. Now, Barrett, in his original suit, for those who don't know, said he was a scapegoat for Sony and Bungie, and he said that he was falsely accused of sexual misconduct, which Sony is now countering by saying that is outrageous considering the evidence presented. And the company is actually presenting the evidence, and they're demonstrating that his firing was justified. And all we could do right now is wait. We don't have an answer. Everything right now is up in the air, and I will keep everybody up to date the more I learn about this case, because now that this is on my radar, I will continually check in with this case, and I will give you updates about this because I'm as curious as you. I don't know if this was a situation of maybe Barrett's personality is a little too aggressive for the females working there. Maybe he was being predatory because, like I said before, there's nothing wrong with texting a female employee if you get their number. But it is wrong if you're texting them in a way that they don't want to be texted, or you're talking to them in a way that they're clearly not cool with. There's a level of that is predatory. It absolutely is. There really isn't. There's not an excuse for it. Now, if it was a situation of he was just flirting with some hoe and shit went awry, that's a little different. But as this case continues, I will keep everybody up to date, and I am not going to make any judgment, no real judgment, until the final verdict is made, because allegations can ruin people's lives, and I'm not going to judge somebody based off allegations alone. That's wrong. I think everybody listening now, and even people who haven't listened to this, but you probably should, so go check out the podcast, motherfucker. Phrasing with Jay, baby. I think everybody needs to take a little stock and allow this case to be concluded before you pass any of your own judgments. I know that's impossible in the age of the internet, but I feel like at least that there's my voice out there telling people, hey, chill out until we figure out what the actual situation is. I think it's the best attitude we can have going forward because, yeah, we know the story, but we weren't there. And us not being there is a very big detail. So let's see what happens with this case before we pass any judgment. It's a fucked up case, though. Don't flirt with bitches at work unless you know they're okay with it. Little relationship advice from Jay. Oh my God, Assassin's Creed is in the news again. What for this time, Jay, may you ask? Oh, well, Assassin's Creed Shadow Shrine Portrayal has prompted officials to take quote-unquote action. And the portrayal of the real-life religious shrine in Assassin's Creed Shadows has pissed off enough people at the shrine's real-world counterpart to take quote-unquote action. And this is from the Japanese platform Sankei News. The officials at the Aitate Hyozu Shrine, which is located in the Hyogo Prefecture, and which can be visited in Assassin's Creed Shadows' historical representation of Japan, are taking appropriate action, quote unquote, over the shrine's depiction in the game. And what they're talking about specifically is that officials are pissed off at the fact that it is possible not only to visit the shrine in Assassin's Creed Shadows, but also to destroy parts of the shrine, including its altar and sacred objects. Okay. Look, guys, this is a video game. Of course, the shrine is going to be destructible. Okay, look. I understand that some people find it disrespectful. I get that. I understand that. But, guys, this is a video game. Repeat, this is a video game. People are not destroying the actual shrine. They're destroying a bunch of ones and zeros. They're destroying code, okay? Has the world gotten this sensitive to where you can't destroy something in a video game without pissing somebody off? Because that's what it really seems like that's going on here. Now, Sankei News reports that the shrine officials said they would have refused if Ubisoft had contacted them for official approval to include the shrine in the game, but that they were not approached by the studio. Okay, First of all, Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft do not need your permission to put in a real life location. They don't. They just don't. It's a video game. How many video games have been out there that put real world locations in the game? Tons. Watch Dogs is all about Chicago. How many times have we seen this in games? A lot. A lot. Nobody's complained. And if they have, it's a video game. I always go back to that stance, and I'm going to stay firm on that stance because it's true. They're not destroying the actual shrine. You don't have vandals going over there and kicking over your fucking shrine and destroying it in real life. Calm down. This is what I can't stand about the world today. People get pissed off because, oh my God, they destroyed a shrine in a video game. Remember, it's the video game shrine. It's not a real shrine. I understand that it could be considered disrespectful to some, but to me, I look at this and I go, okay, can we please stop bitching and just let Ubisoft either succeed or fail on its own volition? Every single week, it seems like Ubisoft is in another bed of controversy over something that seems stupid. Sometimes it's relevant. I fully admit that. Sometimes it is relevant and it is, what's the word? It's relevant and it makes sense on why people would be upset. But can we always go back to the beginning of what we're talking about here? We're talking about a video game made by a video game company. None of this is real. None of it. None of it. It's a video game. So remember that. The next time you might get up in your guff about the reenactment group flag, for the concept art, the fact that it's not completely historically accurate. Of course it's not. It's a video. See, I got to say it again because it's true. It's a video game. Chill out, people. Okay? Let's just let Ubisoft make Assassin's Creed Shadows and let's see if it's a good game or not. Isn't that what we should be judging Ubisoft on? Because right now, Ubisoft is in a shithole. They are in the shitter. Let's see if the game is actually good. That's all I'm worried about. I'm worried about if Assassin's Creed Shadows is a good game. I'm not worried about people getting pissed off about gamers being able to destroy a fucking virtual shrine. If no real world property is being damaged, if nobody is in the real world is being hurt, physically beat up, maimed, stabbed, gutted, eviscerated, slashed, cut, nicked, kicked, punched, beat, clinched, kneed, elbowed. If nobody in the real world is getting fucking hurt physically over this, then what's the problem? I blame the world we live in today. I really do, because nowadays, Jesus Christ, it's like everybody is just offended about everything. Part of me feels that this is just manufactured outrage. But good God, Ubisoft, I wish you the best with Assassin's Creed Shadows, man, because God damn it, you guys are always in trouble. Come on, man. Assassin's Creed has never been completely historically accurate. Assassin's Creed, and this is why I'm not tripping about this, and I don't know why other people are, but Assassin's Creed has always been a game that has taken history and then twisted it to make it fictional. In their video game. Calm down, people. Get over it. It's not real. It's a video game. I repeat for the 50th time. It's a video game. Not everything's going to be historically accurate. Okay? Just let it live and let it die at its own natural pace. Okay. I was just talking about Ubisoft and their hotbed of controversy. And now Microsoft has apparently done something very stupid, and I'm very much against this. Microsoft has announced AI gameplay generation model Muses. And Microsoft has announced Muse, a generative AI model that can generate game visuals, controller actions, or both. And the company is calling it the first example of WHAM, or World and Human Action Model. And boy, does that sound stupid. Yeah, dude, no. No, thank you. But in a post on the official Microsoft website, the company had revealed that Muse was developed in conjunction with Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice Studio, Ninja Theory. Shame on you, Ninja Theory. Shame the fuck on you for fucking with AI, you pack of assholes. Professionally, not personally. I wish you no actual harm. I hope you all have jobs and go on to great ventures in your life, professionally and personally. However, I disagree with this, and this model was originally trained on Ninja Theory's battle arena game Bleeding Edge, so shame on you, Ninja Theory, again, for incorporating AI in this shit. This is not where AI is supposed to live. It is never where AI is supposed to live. AI is supposed to be used for boring calculation stuff. It's not for the creative space. I can't tell you how fucking fed up I am and how many goddamn times I gotta make somebody, a production company, tell me if they've signed a waiver that means when I'm voice acting that I don't have my voice used for AI purposes or anything like that. So to read this, it's just aggravating as fuck. But there was a follow-up post on the Xbox website that says Muse can create consistent and diverse gameplay rendered by AI, which Microsoft is stating it's a major step towards generative AI models that can empower game creators. And I don't believe that at all. That sounds like a line of shit. That's what it sounds like. Now, Microsoft has given some examples of what kind of gameplay Muse is able to create. And look, I've looked at it. It looks terrible. I'm being 100% honest. It looks fucking terrible. Also, it's just one of these things where I go, okay, Microsoft has said that they're about effectively supporting human creatives and that the potential applications of Muse is giving it the opportunity to make older games accessible to future generations of players across new devices and in new ways. I don't like this. Because all this really is, and I'll be one of the few people to say this to you, is all this is firing humans. That's what it leads to. The more we allow artificial intelligence to leak its dirty little artificial Skynet tentacles inside our gaming industry, in the games we love to play and enjoy, we're losing human developers. And that's a problem. Do you want to know why it's a problem? Is because if you don't have human developers, then you lose out on the humanity in game development. Look, AI is great for certain things. What it's not great for is creative properties. There's a reason why human beings want to create things. There's a reason why some of the best games that were ever made come from human beings, is because we're humans. We are uniquely designed to be creative, to have spurs of inspiration, to want to develop and create fun out of thin air. I was just having a conversation with a creator that I work with, who I'm a voice actor on a couple of his projects. Shout out to Dez. What's up, buddy? And we were talking about this. We were just talking about the human condition and the story that we have going on that I'm assisting in the brainstorming on. And if you cut me out and you just used an AI, I don't think he would have came to the same conclusion that he and I came to when we were in the middle of our brainstorming writing session. It's one of those things where I go, stop it. This is not making gaming better. This Muse model that Microsoft is so high and mighty about is not going to make things better. If anything, it's just going to sanitize and sterilize gaming more than it already is, and then everything is going to look like a carbon cut copy representation of themselves. I said that in 2015. I'm saying it now in 2025. Keep artificial intelligence out of our video games. Keep it out of acting. Keep it out of voice acting. That is fucking garbage. All Microsoft wants to do is to cut down cost on how much they got to pay human developers for food, for air conditioning, for vacation days, for paid time off, etc., etc., etc. You can't replace everything with AI. You can't. When you try, you know what you get? You get something that's lacking. You know what it's lacking? It's lacking a soul, because that's what human developers add to a video game. A soul. I love Payday 2. I've loved Payday 2 since it first came out, since I first picked it up. I love Payday 2. I love Payday 2 so much that I would play it forever. How do I know that? Is because I have Max Infamied, my character in Payday 2 previously. Max Infamy, level 25. And it was amazing. I love the mask customization. I love the gun customization. I love the heist. I love the shooting. I love stealing nuclear warheads. I love robbing diamonds. I love robbing banks. It's probably my favorite thing. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I love taking the bank heist map, and I love taking the body bags and throwing it on the top of the rotating sign of the bank and making my little chicken rotisserie. I love taking the body bags and throwing them up into the corners of the windows that I shoot out in the manager's office, because I like putting body bags in the top corners of the shot out windows. I don't know. I do weird stuff in Payday 2. I remember I used to smoke bongs and fall asleep while I'm playing Payday 2, while other people would play the game for me. Oh my God, do I love Payday 2. Now, Payday 3. Oh God. Payday 3 is a fall from grace, if I've ever had seen one, when it comes to Starbreeze Studios and Overkill and all that. I hate Payday 3. I tried to like it. People saw me play it on stream. I played it with my good friend, Scott Craighead. Shout out to my boy, Scott Craighead. Go check out Perdition Wakes. It's a very entertaining game. I highly recommend it. And not just because I'm a part of it. I encourage it because it's a fun game. And I want to support my buddy. So go check out Perdition Wakes on Steam. Now, the reason I'm talking about Payday 3 is because Starbreeze, the sales for Payday 3 have been abysmal. Yet, Starbreeze Studios is talking about in their yearly financial report for 2024 that they are successful in that year, which makes zero sense. Let me explain. Starbreeze had cited that its net sales for 2024 fell to about 70% when compared to its previous year, and it ranked 180, not ranked, it pulled in, rather, 185.9 million Swedish kroners this year compared to 633.5 million last year, with both Payday games hitting double digits. They basically achieved a triple-digit sales figure last year. Now, all the numbers on Starbreeze Studio are down compared to 2023. But for whatever reason, the CEO, Mats Jewel, I think that's how you say it, is describing the year as intense, but in many ways also successful. That's bizarre. Now, Joel, I think that's how you say it, has said the year has seen Starbreeze strengthening the Payday brand through collaborations and enhancements, while also making, quote unquote, great progress with upcoming Dungeons & Dragons multiplayer game, Project Baxter. Now, this acting CEO, who is currently in position following the departure of the other CEO, Tobias Stjolgren, I think that's how you say it, in March of last year in 2024, has said that Starbreeze has been focusing on establishing a strong foundation for its third-party publishing this year. Okay. No, I understand that maybe in other areas it hasn't been that bad, but you have to remember, Starbreeze Studio is most known for Payday 2. Any gamer, no matter what involvement they have in gaming news, if you know about Starbreeze Studio, you know about it because of Payday 2. That's literally how I know it. That's how major amounts of gamers that I've talked to know about Starbreeze Studios. And that's all they know about Starbreeze Studios. And as a matter of fact, I've known multiple gamers who have never played another Starbreeze game outside of Payday 2 that they were aware of. Now, what does that tell you? It means that Starbreeze Studios' identity is connected, indelibly connected to Payday 2, and unfortunately to Payday 3. And now, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I know maybe fiscally, they've had a successful studio year, but when you take 633.5 million last year to 185.9 million Swedish kroners. You cannot tell me in any stretch of the imagination that they're doing well. That's bullshit. That is them lying. Not necessarily lying, but they're trying to save face. They're basically trying to say, oh yeah, well, Payday 3 didn't do too well, but it's okay because it was an intense, but also a successful year because we're focusing on collaborations and being a third-party publisher, blah, 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 blah. And we're focusing and making amazing progress on Project Baxter. And they're talking about how they're strengthening, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here, on the Payday brand. And this leads into what I talked about on one of the last shows, where Starbreeze and Crafton announced the Payday and Players Unknown Battlegrounds crossover. And that isn't enough. That's not enough. It really isn't. And this also cites back to an article that was posted in 2024 in August the 22nd, where Starbreeze had talked about their Payday 3 roadmap, detailing what's going to happen in the multiplayer section of the game, the problems with it associated, and all that other stuff. They were talking about the new DLC pack, which included Hoxton's Breakout, new heist, new animations, etc. And that's not enough. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not enough, okay? And the reason why that's not enough is because Payday 3 in itself is not a good game. Period. It's not a good game. It's not fun. Payday 2 was fun. The only thing I didn't like about Payday 2 was the amount of desyncing and disconnection that you got from it. That was it. That's literally it. Everything else about Payday 2, I fucking love. When I look at Payday 3, I go, okay, so it's just a bunch of goons in cop uniforms and SWAT team members rushing in masse in a horde to make up for the fact that they're just a bunch of fucking helmet-wearing, automatic, rifle-wielding flap sandwiches that just fall over and have terrible AI. On top of it, the game isn't even that fun to begin with. And a very minor, but important, relevant point is that Payday 3 has a crosshair. Why? Don't do that. Fuck that. It's a pain in the ass. I don't even remember if you can turn the crosshair on or off. But either way, the fact that it's even in there in a default setting is annoying as fuck. I don't like it. I feel like Payday 3 was, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Payday 3 is exactly what happens when you take Payday 1 and you try to make it for 2024 and 2025. And that's not great. Payday 1, if you go back and play Payday the Heist, and I encourage people to go back to do this, if you don't have a copy of it, well, it's cheap now, so go ahead and take the risk. But Payday 1 is not that great. It's really not. Payday did not become the game that it was destined to become until Payday 2 released. When Payday 2 released, it blew people's brains out of the back of their fucking skull because it was a good game. And it's still a good game. Check the numbers. Thousands upon thousands of players still play Payday 2. And when Payday 3 came out, you had a swell of people that ran over to Payday 3 to check it out. And when they went, I don't like this. This sucks. They went right back to Payday 2. Payday 3 is not a good game. And for Starbreeze to sit here and be this disingenuous, I don't like it. I have no ill will towards any of these people. I don't want people losing their jobs. But I have to be honest here. I don't like Payday 3. It's boring. It's not fun. Payday 3, when you're doing a heist, it feels like a chore. When you're playing Payday 2, you don't even care that you're doing a heist. You're too busy having fun. And that's the major difference. Payday 3 is not fun. Payday 2 is fun. And that is the defining characteristic of what makes Payday 2 better than Payday 3. Starbreeze needs to... I'm not saying they need to can Payday 3. They're never going to do that. That's ridiculous. But I think what they need to do is they need to go back to Payday 2. And I think they need to give a little love to Payday 2 because right now that's the only game that they have out there in the current landscape of Starbreeze Studios catalog that is even worth the fuck anymore. Payday 2 is connected to Starbreeze Studios because obviously they published it and made it and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things where I go, okay, go back to Payday 2, show it a little more love, polish it up, fix the desync issue, and give gamers a reason to play your game again. Payday 3 is a failure on every single level. The maps aren't fun. The gameplay is smoother in some ways, but in other ways, that doesn't even matter. Because in Payday 2, you could do more. You had more fun. There was more reason to go back and play. What's the reason to play Payday 3? Don't worry, I'll wait. Because I can't give you a reason. There's no reason to play Payday 3. But I have every reason to go back and play Payday 2 because I have fun when I play Payday 2. I like going to rob a bank. I like going to rob diamonds. I like doing the diamond heist. I like going into the White House. I like customizing the weapons. I love customizing the masks. I love visiting my safe house. I like the most simple things in Payday 2 because they're entertaining, because they're interesting. I like hearing Bane on the comm channel, being our dispatch, being our operator, and talking to us. I love cooking methamphetamine in Cookout. Or Cook-Off. I think it's called Cook-Off. In Payday 2. It's fun. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I feel like a broken record when I'm saying it, but it doesn't make it any less true. Payday 2 is fun. Payday 3 is not. And Starbreeze needs to go back into Payday 2 and fix it up. You know, it'd really be good for Payday 2 or for Starbreeze Studios if they fixed Payday 2 up and they re-released it. I'm not saying that that's the solution, but that would have a better chance at being successful and earning Starbreeze more money than putting more money into Payday 3, into a failing game that nobody wants to play. Nobody gives a fuck about Payday 3, and there's good reason why. It's not fun. Okay, I think that's enough gaming news. And boy, did I not tell you that gaming news today and just over this last week has been ripe with disappointment and a lot of slightly irritating things that are going on in this lovely little community and business we like to call the video game industry. Now, if I switch focus a little bit, I want to talk about potato PCing. I remember I called it something different, but I call it potato PCing now because it's just the name that I've decided. So, deal with it. If you got a better name, put it in the Discord, put it in the comments below. I appreciate it. I love you. But the reason I'm talking about potato PCing right now is because I would like to talk to you about a plucky little game or series of games called Lakeview Cabin. What is Lakeview Cabin? Well, I have a couple questions for you, my good sir/madam. Do you like horror? Oh, you do? Do you like pixel games? Oh, you do. How about a pixel game where you go through horror scenarios and it's a puzzle solving game where you can get killed by murderers, where you play as a survivor and you go into these classic backdrops that is a love letter to everything that is horror. Do I have your interest yet? Because it certainly had mine. It's okay. It's perfectly all right to get excited. This isn't the worst thing in the world to be excited about. Lakeview Cabin is an amazing game series. I like Lakeview Cabin Collection. I like Lakeview Cabin 2. I think they're fun. I like the puzzles. I love the art style, even though I've said before, I'm not the biggest pixel fan, but the way that Lakeview Cabin does it is highly entertaining. And it's one of those things where it is very compatible with low-end potato-top PCs, with toaster computers. It's one of those things where if you do not have Lakeview Cabin in your collection, either Lakeview Cabin 2 or Lakeview Cabin Collection, I highly encourage that you go get it. It's on sale. It's probably not on sale now because I think the sale just ended, because when I got them on sale for like, a couple of dollars, really. It was really cheap. And that's where they live. I can't say the game's overpriced because I don't believe so. The amount of stuff that they give you for that game, the amount of work and love and labor and sweat and tears and most likely blood that was put into that game, it makes it worth every penny. You will get hours of entertainment out of Lakeview Cabin, mainly because you'll be dying a lot trying to figure out what to do. And that's part of the beauty of it. Lakeview Cabin does not handhold you. It puts you into the scenario and they expect you to figure it out through trial and error and through just playing the game itself. And besides, there's funny little Easter eggs. I mean, Jesus Christ, you can have 8-bit digital sex in Lakeview Cabin Collection. If you put a male character or a female character or just two characters on a bed in that game, they'll start fucking. Oh my God. Oh, there's a snort count. 1. And it's hilarious. It's just so silly. It's fun. It's engaging. It's entertaining. And that's what video games are supposed to be. If we think about it, at the end of the day, video games are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be entertaining. They're supposed to take you out of the regular world for a little while. You can put aside your problems just for an hour or however long you play and just have some fun and enjoy yourself. And that's what Lakeview Cabin provides. It's a low-end requirement for PCs, for laptops. It can run on anything. I mean, shit, you could stream it on anything. It's that low end. So I highly encourage that all of you go check out Lakeview Cabin Collection. Go check out Lakeview Cabin 2 and see for yourself. The games are worth playing, even if you only play them once. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that you'll play it once, you'll put it away, and then a little time will pass, and then you'll go scrolling through your Steam list of games, and you'll go, I think I'm going to reinstall Lakeview Cabin. And the reason why is because of what I said earlier. Because Lakeview Cabin is fun. And that is the heart and soul of why we love video games. Because they're entertaining, because they're fun, because we enjoy them. And this is a game series that continues that trend, and I love it to death. Go check out Lakeview Cabin 2, go check out Lakeview Cabin Collection, and tell them Game J sent you. You won't regret it. Last time on the show, last episode, we were talking about best video game movies and worst video game movies. Well, we are back to form, and I have an interesting choice to talk about here. And I'm a little conflicted on where I actually place this movie, okay? I want to talk to you guys and girls and all you lovely people about a video game movie that is not directly about a video game property. It is about a multitude of video game properties. And the video game movie that I'm talking about, quote unquote, is the Adam Sandler movie called Pixels. Wait, let me finish. This is why I'm kind of in between, because Pixels is absolutely an Adam Sandler comedy. Now, I can't decide for you if you're an Adam Sandler fan or you're not. He seems to be one of those actors that you like him or you hate him. Like a Ben Stiller. Either you like Ben Stiller or you hate Ben Stiller. You either like Adam Sandler or you don't. I like Adam Sandler. I've always thought he was entertaining, just like I like Ben Stiller. I think Ben Stiller is a good actor. I loved him in Zoolander. I loved him in Night at the Museum. I just like Ben Stiller. I know people who hate him, and that's their own opinion. It's just like Adam Sandler. I like Adam Sandler a lot. I love Billy Madison. I love Happy Gilmore. I know Happy Gilmore 2 is either coming out or it's already released, and that'll be interesting because Shooter McGavin's back and finger guns. Oh my God, that's a weird one. But look, we're talking about Pixels right now. And Pixels is interesting. It's about a guy who basically works for the Geek Squad who gets put into this weird situation where aliens come down to Earth and try to invade them. And they're using old school retro video games as the default forms in how they're invading Earth. And it sounds stupid. It really does. And this is why I kind of don't know where to put it on one of the best video game movies or one of the worst video game movies. Because the Pixels doesn't necessarily use video games in other than just it's the background for the movie itself. Like you have Pac-Man and you have Donkey Kong and you got all this other stuff in here and you have what was that game called? Space Invaders and all that shit. And that's great. And you have Q*bert, for God's sakes. I'm going like, fucking Q*bert's in here? That's amazing. So that's what I mean. I think what it comes down to is I find the movie entertaining. I really thought it was kind of cool how they had the guy who played Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones as the antagonist who ended up joining the team, and he became kind of a anti-hero, so to speak, and toward the final act of the movie. I like that how it was revealed that, spoiler alert, that he fucking cheated. And he had all the fucking codes put on his damn sunglasses, and that's how he won. So it turned out that Adam Sandler was actually the fucking champion, and it was so stupid, and it really brought me back memories of the known cheater and the known fraudster, Billy Mitchell, with his, I believe it was his Donkey Kong high score. I think it was Donkey Kong. He said he did it on a arcade cabinet, but it turned out he most likely done it in an emulator. And there's all these videos. Amazing videos on YouTube where they really go into it. People who are far more knowledgeable than I ever would be into why they feel that Billy Mitchell cheated. And I've watched them, and I'm of the agreement that that motherfucker probably did cheat. And I'm going, dude, that dude's been sticking to a lie for like 20 plus years, and he's never gonna admit it. So whatever, let him go off, let him be whatever. And it's kind of amazing. But anyways, the thing about Pixels is I'm kind of unsure on where to place it, okay? Because yes, they use video games in a great way. I kind of don't like how they relegated the video games as to just the default generic bad guys. However, I'm kind of okay with it too. And see, that's why I'm kind of in this dicey little area. I really don't know where to place it. So when I think about Pixels as a best video game movie or a worst video game movie, I kind of can't put them in either category. It's not the best video game movie, and it's not the worst video game movie. And it's one of those things where it's not even a video game movie that just exists. It's not. It's so weird. It's like an honestly, you know what it is? It's a decent Adam Sandler movie that just so happened to incorporate video games, and it was kind of cool in how they did it. I mean, come on. As far as a premise goes, place yourself in that situation. Are you telling me if aliens dropped down and tried to attack planet Earth and they did it in the form of video games that you wouldn't somewhere, if you're a gamer or even just whatever, just a passive gamer or a casual gamer, whatever, you wouldn't go, okay, that's fucked up, but that's kind of cool, man. I'm kind of digging the fact that we're getting literally invaded by the video game Space Invaders. That's kind of incredible. I'm all for it. I don't got anything against it. I think it's an entertaining movie. I like it for what it is, and that's why I find difficulty in placing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it up to all of you. I want to know what all of you think. Is Pixels in the column of one of the best video game movies, or is it in the column of one of the worst video game movies? All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Phrasing with Jay. I thank you very much for tuning in. And I want you all to go check out the YouTube channel, the Twitch, I always forget these things. Oh, my God. Go check out the YouTube channel, the Twitch, my Instagram at GameJisSus, my Twitter, my Blue Sky, all at either GameJ or GameJisSus. And I really do appreciate it. And I make music. And just a little announcement, I decided that it's time that I officially re-release all the music that I have ever made that I could get my hands on. And I didn't come to this decision lightly because this is a little different from just a typical gaming stuff or anything I get into. This is about, what I'm doing. And I didn't do this last time. So I want to do it here now before I forget. The reason I decided to go back and re-release all my old music and just music that I was currently developing, just proofs of concept and all that kind of stuff is because, I was listening to it because I was auditioning for a singing role and they wanted samples or examples of previous work that I've done. And I got to listening to my old music and I went, oh yeah, this shit hits. I like this song. And I went, why is this not public? And then the more I was listening to it, the more I realized I'm going, Jay, what are you doing? Why are you holding all this music back? You made it. Why would you just keep it like unlisted and privatized? Fucking put it out in the public again. Put it back out into the public and let it just be out there. Let it be out there for people to connect with it, to listen to it. You never know. Someone might add it to a gym playlist and somebody might connect with it. And at the end of the day, I make music. I love making music. I love switching between genres to the thing I did with Choke, to Vanity, to the album I recently re-released, DNR, to the song I made Once Upon a Time, to the Mood remix that I made, to the Ice Princess song I made, which was a remix off the Childish Gambino songs, sweatpants. I mean, good God, I have crossed all sorts of genres, even in the more metal and funk style music that I've made. Most recently with shout out to DJ Scuts, my brother from another mother. You know, I've in Get Ready. Oh, that's not from Scuts. I apologize. That's from Abrigo. Shout out to my boy Abrigo, all right, who helped produce the song Get Ready. And then DJ Scuts, who I did the what was it called? The Lethal Company rap song that I made. And then back again, the other song that I made for him and Patrick. Shout out to Patrick and Scuts for the work I've done with them. And I just realized that like music is a part of me. And I learned over time and through my own stubbornness that I came to the realization of, Jay, dude, you make music. You love making music, just like you love acting. It's part of who you are. The bars, the songs that I write, everything is just an extension of who I am. And speaking of music, I would like to tell everybody that I have a small announcement. The latest Awesome Rap Battles video is now out. It's Ozzy and Drix, Osmosis Jones versus Inside Out. And that is something that I wrote and I did the demo for Roshan. And at Awesome Rap Battles. And shout out to my boy Roshan. I have loved working with him. I think Awesome Rap Battles is one of the most enjoyable collaborative projects I've ever worked on. It's one of those things where I know it's just rap battles and stuff like that, but I love it. I love working on that YouTube channel. So for me, go check out Awesome Rap Battles on YouTube and tell them Game J sent you. But that'll do it for now. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. And I'll see you next week. Later.